Well, here we are, the Schmodcast. Welcome to See What Happens with Rob Schneider and the beautiful Patricia Maya.
Gracias.
Also known as...
Patricia Maya.
Also known as the...
Humble opinion of the Mexican.
Humble opinion of the Mexican is here. And also the man, the myth, the legend, the who?
Thanks for letting me sit in, guys. This is Jamie.
Jamie Lasalle. Jamie Lasalle. Did you ever figure out how you're supposed to really say that name? Because is it French or what is it exactly?
We tried to trace the heritage of Lisso or Lissau, and they basically said we don't know or care.
All right, but that was before like Ancestry. Waste of money. Right?
Yeah. Did I tell you though? When I was on the radio for 5 years, the host of the show pronounced my name Lissau for the first couple weeks, and it's Lisso. Mm-hmm. And every day my mom would go, "Hey, I was doing a great job. Would you tell him that it's pronounced Lisso?" And so I go, "Yeah," and I would tell him, "Hey, my mom, Lisso."
I'm going to tell you right now,
And
I've known you for like 9 years or whatever it is, 10 years. I still say Lisso.
Maybe I've been saying it wrong.
No, I just think you're too nice, I remember Kevin
Did you say Lisso? I have never noticed that.
Jamie Lisso. Sometimes I say Lisso.
It's almost not discernible.
It's probably Lissi. Jaime Lissi. Jaimita Lissi.
Well, sometimes last names are really hard to pronounce. Like my last name, like my Mexican last name is Azarcoya, and it was so hard that I had to change it to Schneider.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a lot easier. Schneider. That's like the most common name in Germany. It's like Schneider. It's like Smith, which is now the Smith, but Schneider's very common. It actually means tailor in German.
Oh, really?
I was going to change my name to Taylor, but I didn't there was a guy who was a magician in my, I don't know, the only guy who was like going into show business, and he changed his name from I forget what it was to I think his name was Mark Hardeen or something. I said, God, who would want to change their name? But I said, and I realized I should have changed my fucking name. He was right, and I was
What did
wrong.
Hardeen change to for Magic Hardini?
No, I think he changed it to Hardeen.
Hardeen?
Like
Hardeen is garden in
Mark
Spanish.
Hardeen. Maybe,
It should be like Mark
Gardeen.
Anyway, Garden.
Mark Garden. So this is the Schmodcast podcast. Why are we doing this podcast? How did this happen?
I don't know. I think you wanted to do that.
Okay, that's what it was.
I also always said I wish people could have a little bit of a peek into the lives of Patricia, however you pronounce your last name, and Rob.
Aren't we
Schneider.
Aren't we just delaying not writing right now? Season 3 of our show, Real Rob.
Yeah,
Is that just what this podcast is?
Probably.
it's a big part of it.
Probably.
Just procrastinating.
Yeah. Well, distracting us.
It definitely is. Now, but podcasting. First of all, I was done doing the podcast with the great Adam Carolla, who invented this thing. Who really took it to an incredible level. He's a genius, and I remember at the time, years ago, going, that seems like a lot of work, and I just left there going, that seems like a lot of work. It's a lot of work, You got it. He loves it though, but he's great. He can talk about hours for anything. He's very opinionated, which is what you need.
Yeah,
he's really sure about a lot of things. I'm not. I'm still kind of muddled in my thinking.
really.
I'm not. I mean, I think I'm some things I'm 100% sure of.
Mm-hmm.
Some things.
I gotta say that you seem very confident for things that you don't know anything about. Sometimes.
I pride myself in being slightly knowledgeable about a shitload of things, and being very knowledgeable about nothing. That's what I love about myself. Yeah. I really think it's an admirable quality. I can talk a lot about. I mean, I can talk about a lot of different stuff, very little amount. Mm-hmm. And you get to the second, third question, you go, I don't know.
2 in though. Genius.
Well, I've seen you very confident about talking about certain things, and suddenly. I noticed, wait a minute, he's lying probably.
No.
Do you want to hear something?
I would like to not say it's lying. What it is just off.
The truth?
The truth.
Yeah, I would just say it's
off fact.
Yeah, I would say it's not lying. It's off fact, or it's off book.
Sure.
And
book of facts.
Conjecture.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's conjecture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else I love about the podcast, you guys doing a podcast.
Yes.
I feel like I learn a ton about the Mexican culture.
Yeah.
By being around you and the foods and the phrases. Today, Rob, so one thing I loved about the opportunity to hear you guys do a podcast was that I learn, by living here and being around you, I learned a lot about your culture, Patricia, and Mexico. And
increasing your taste buds to have hotter and hotter food. I'm very proud of you, by
certainly.
the way.
Thank you.
Because like you have food, you could eat spicy food that would kill a normal American.
That's true. I'm
crushing
proud of
it
you.
now.
Proud of you, Jamie.
I love it.
Because at first you were just Jamie Lissow, whatever the hell you say it, is the most nicest, most polite human being to a fault. You know, you were like
annoying.
You're way too nice about everything. But I'm also like, because I remember when you first started eating the food, and you're literally your eyes, you were crying from
and you were sweating.
Yeah, your nose hairs were on fire, and
I was like, no, this is fine. I was like losing water weight.
But and then but you actually like it now, right?
It's fantastic. I can't do without it.
Yeah, well, you know, 10 years of training, I think, worked.
Yeah, and back to like Patty's cool expressions. So Rob,
Yes.
you had called me earlier. You weren't home.
Yes.
And you asked me to check the tire pressure in your back right tire of your Tesla.
Just not that you're my assistant. Or
no,
anything.
but just
to save time.
yeah, just to save time.
Just to be nice.
Just help me out.
And also it helps to take
a lot of friends do that. We check the tire pressure in my car.
yeah, and I think it also helps to take away from the writing.
You know, you're a pal.
Yeah, Rob tries. Yeah.
You're a pal. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing right now? Can you check the tire pressure in my car? Make sure it's like around 48 because it's
you
convertible.
really like to stretch your friendships.
I like
just said something a couple colleagues
it's
do all the
stress
time.
test. A stress test. Hey, what are you doing? I used to have like friends who used to call me up. Can you pick me up? Like, what? Yeah, my car broke down. Can you come pick me up? And I was like, and you have to go, am I really this guy's friend?
Right.
I mean, like you have to go, okay, he's stuck somewhere. Obviously, he doesn't have like he doesn't spend the $46 a year or whatever for AAA. And like now I got to drive 2 hours out of my day.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
To go pick his ass up.
And that would never happen to Rob because he would have asked me to fix the car. It wouldn't have broken down.
Well, I just said,
exactly.
I should have said, he said he should have asked me to check the tire pressure for him.
But what worries me, I worry sometimes. I worry a lot. Rob's been, every time we go somewhere, we fill up this tire, this Tesla tire.
Know.
And it scares me that he's going to get stuck somewhere. Like it's going to be a blowout. And so it is a convertible, which I think you would, like, it just seems dangerous. And so I tell your wife, I go, Patricia, I go, it worries me that Rob's tire has been consistently low.
Yes.
I feel like we should try to get a new tire because I don't want something to happen to them. And she says, we have an expression. Do you remember what you told me? She says, we have an expression for when you do something like this in Mexico.
Yes.
Yes. What is that expression?
You like to scratch the devil's balls.
You're scratching the devil's balls.
Yeah.
Can you say it in Spanish, though?
Yeah, le estás rascando los huevos al diablo. Yeah, now we really say that because it's like...
Scándalos?
No, rascando.
Rascando.
Yeah, you're scratching the devil's
Rascando.
balls. So why are you doing that? Why can't you just fix your tire?
Do you think it's like playing with fire?
I think it's also like,
almost.
well, how about the fact that no one will fix my little car because it's like what's one of the first Teslas and they don't, no one knows all the Tesla shops, can't fix it. So there's like one place only in LA.
Really?
And it's going to cost $500 to tow it out there. It's 2 hours from here.
Damn it.
And I think it's just easier for me to just keep going to filling up the thing.
But I'm sure they can do the tire somewhere else.
I'm sure they can, but that would also require me to drive like 2 exits to the closest Tesla place.
Well,
2 exits.
yes.
During my day when we could be delaying our season 3 Real Rob writing by doing a podcast.
You can ask one of your friends to do that for you.
Jamie, what are you doing right now?
Patty, you know the thing that you put on, I don't know what it's called, but it's tire pressure gauge? You know the thing? You take it, you put it on the tire to see how low your tire is.
Yeah.
The last time we went to the store, Rob put the tire pressure gauge on the tire. It did not move. Like it was like it didn't even, it was
basically
so flat.
said, it laughed at me and went, ha ha ha, no air.
Yeah.
And then so...
But that's dangerous.
That is dangerous, yeah.
Yeah.
I did call you because I said the tire seemed pretty low. And then I pulled over. And then, like I said, I'll just make it there. Anyway, no, it's stupid. I'm one of those people who's going to get stuck very soon. Hey, but so speaking of, this is the premiere of podcast. I've delayed it as many years as I could, but I realize it's something we need to be doing. We should all be doing. But it's good. It's fun. And See What Happens is the title of it, which comes from an expression that my mother used to use every day of my childhood. See what happens? And it was just, that's what it was. I mean, literally, like, it's. I guess it's a Filipino way to say, I told you so.
I told you so.
See what happens? Mm-hmm. No running in the house. See what happens? You fell down. See what happens? You broke that. See what happens? You're crying. See what happens? Huh? And then I remember one time playing basketball about 3 miles away from the house. Somebody twisted an ankle. All of a sudden you heard, see what happens? Dude, that's your mom in a mountain over there. See what happens? But anyway, that's one of my bits.
It seems kind of tough.
But you know what? I think like the Filipino culture and Mexican culture are very similar.
How so?
Well, because
You're both conquered by Spain?
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, but also moms are tough in Mexico. And I remember, like, for instance, my mom used to say, like, if you fall, like, she would tell you, don't do that. And if you fall, I'm going to hit you.
What?
Seriously. So
how does that sound in Spanish, by the way?
Well, you know, like, it would be like, si te caes, te voy a pegar. So it was terrible, because then if you were playing or doing something and accidentally, you know, fell, then you're scared of telling your mom, like, hey, Mom, can I have a Band-Aid or something? I'm bleeding over here. Because, you know, the beating is going to be worse.
Oh, my God.
After you tell the mom.
See, this is my theory. I've talked about this on Adam Carolla, is that, like, my parents knew that in the 60s, it was no longer cool to hit your kids. That was like, it was out. It was like, you know, they were more progressive. Like, no, we're not hit our kids. But the threat was always there. And the threat was very effective. Because every once in a while, my dad would say, you know, I'm going to pull out the belt, you know. And like that was like when we were little kids, you know. I maybe 8, 9, 10, whatever. So the belt, and once it did come out, that was like a real deal. And they, you know, they didn't like whip the shit out of us, but it was like more of a show of force. Like, this is really, we warned you. And those, my understanding of it is the best kind of, as far as disciplining your child, is not like the, you know, just the whacking, just the instantaneous hitting, or just, you know, reaching out and smacking, you know, at the time. It's to give pause, to let them think, okay, your mommy and I decided that you screwed up, and we don't know what your punishment is going to be yet. However, we're going to think about it, and we'll let you know tomorrow. And that will let them know that it's not this, like, you're not like a lunatic.
Right.
Like my mom was a lunatic.
My mom was a lunatic, too. My parents never did that. But that was the idea behind no longer hitting your kids. So, but like, every once in a while, there'd be like a crazy whack. You know, my mom literally would like do the pinch and twist. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The pinch
Is that a dance?
No, you did dance when she was doing it to you. You were wildly moving your arms and legs. But what it did, she wouldn't, you know, when she was pissed off, she knew that we would run from her, because we did when she was pissed. She would throw anything she could at us, and literally anything. And then she would like, I realized I was raised by a 12-year-old girl.
Wow.
That's what I realized now. Anyway, so emotionally. So she would get us to come over, and if she did get us to come over, if we were dumb enough to come over, you know, like, you know, and then she'd pinch us and go, stop doing that. And she would do the pinch, would stop you from moving because you don't want to move, and she would pinch your stomach.
Oh, boy.
And then twist was to make sure you never do it again. Listen to me was the pinch, and then don't do that anymore. And it was very effective too.
What did you do to deserve a pinch and twist? How
you see my brother and I fighting, breaking over something. I remember told him, like, my brother and I were fighting over like a leftover steak, like a chunk of steak. When my parents went out to dinner, there was like a hunk of meat left in the refrigerator from the night before, and my brother was like, you know, he wanted all of it. And my dad was on the phone, because at my time, my dad actually was running his office out of the house. And like, I'll use the downstairs area, and that will be the office. And they didn't realize, you know, he's got like lunatic kid children around the house fighting over a steak. So we had it was a piece of meat, a hunk of meat, and my brother said, no, I saw it first, I want it. You know, my brother was the hider of foods.
You guys playing steal the bacon with actual bacon food.
My brother would like, was one of those kind of guys who would like, you see him coming out, you know, out of the icebox with an ice cream. and you go, oh shit, there's ice cream. So then you go in and go, there's none left, you know. And then like 10 minutes later, you'd see him come out with another ice cream, and I go, oh shit,
that's not cool.
This guy is hiding ice creams.
Damn.
So I said, oh my God. So then I realized and so I start digging through the ice box. I'm gonna and he would hide it underneath like the frozen whatever steaks or whatever, you know, whatever the frozen hunks of, or the ice tray, and he'd be hiding ice creams in there. Wow. So anyway, so with this backstory. This is the story.
The hiding of the food.
So he comes out with the steak, and I already know that he's the hider of ice creams. He comes out with his steak, and I go, give me some of that. Why do you get it? And like my dad's going, can you keep it down over there, boys? And
I'm at work.
Sorry about that. You know, I'm working over here. I got the office in the house here, and he's like, give me that. And he's like, no, I thought first. Give me. I said, this is it. I laid down the gauntlet. This is my piece of meat.
Wow.
I'm getting this thing. Like, no,
good
so
for
we're fighting over this thing, yelling. He said, I'm telling you, keep it down, boys. Don't make me come over there. That was the big one. Don't make me come over there. Because if I have to come over there, something's going to happen from the result of me leaving this area to go over to that area.
Yeah.
So he came over there. He said, excuse me for a second. He put the phone down. And we had the hold button back then. It was an actual button. You go, so you can go hold. Oh. And he punched John and punched me in the arm. Like really hard.
Wow.
And I remember like, it was actually, you kind of shove your whole body for like a foot, you know. And then, of course, my brother and I looked at each other and went like, you can have it. You can have it. I don't want it anymore. I'm not hungry anymore. You can have it. But it moderated the situation.
Yeah.
It was just like it was a good thing to do. So, but that kind of said, last night, I've, trying to help out more around the house with the kids.
You've been great, by the way.
Oh, God.
Would you do a pinch and twist or the punch?
I did neither.
Oh.
But I did for the first time with our youngest. We have a 6-year-old, a beautiful 6.5-year-old Miranda. And it was also in the show Real Rob.
Yeah.
Now streaming on Netflix, seasons 1 and 2. And then we have our new baby, new-ish, I should say.
New-ish. She's 2.5.
She's 2.5, Madeline. And the first time I ever raised my voice to her was last night.
Is that right?
Yes. You know what? Let me explain what happened.
Whoa.
Because the little one, I think right now is starting to have dreams, and like sometimes noises scare her, or she has like nightmares or whatever.
She was sleeping fine until we went on vacation, and then she slept in the same bed with us. And then when she came back, she was like, you know what? It was way better to have her sleeping in the same bed with us. That's what's happened.
Well, no, but also I think it's because she's, watching a little bit of television, so she can see like scary stuff, like, there are cartoons like super monsters or that kind of stuff, but it's scary for her, right?
Yeah. Right.
So anyways.
Which is a mistake. You should not let kids watch TV till they're 5, or movies and stuff. It's too much information. It's too much for their brain. You got to get them. I remember a friend of mine telling me that.
Yeah, but it's impossible because
except on planes.
It's either
on planes. Throw all the rules out. It's anything you can do to keep them from screaming.
Yes.
Except on planes. And planes, everything goes. Give them candy. Give them junk. Give them heroin. Give them TV. Give them whatever. Give them OxyContin. Give them fentanyl.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Well, but
just a little bit.
But let me tell you what happened.
Wow.
So, anyways, the baby sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night, and she would call for me, right? So she would be like, "Mommy," and then what I do is I go, and I entered the room with a very low energy and just being like, "It's okay, honey. You get back to sleep." And then I tuck her in, and then she would be calm.
Well, you're a better person.
And then exactly. And then she falls asleep again. So last night.
Yeah.
This is, exactly that happened, right? So she calls for me, I go there, and I'm like, it's okay, don't worry, get back to sleep. And it took I would say 10 minutes, and she was sleeping again. So then I went back to her bedroom, and she wakes up again, like half an hour later. And then this time, Rob is like, no, I'm going to go.
Which is so nice. That's nice, Rob.
Which is super nice of Rob, right?
Nice.
And then he goes there.
So I got to walk to the other side of the house.
And I swear, he goes to the baby's room, and I can hear, I'm like, oh, he's so nice, and I'm just getting comfortable, and with the pillows, and I close my eyes, and then I hear hey, Madeline, hey, you gotta get some sleep. I'm like, what? And the baby's like, rah! Getting more and more concerned. Rob is like, hey, no, you gotta keep it down. Come on, it's time to sleep.
Everyone's asleep. I'm trying to rationalize like she's a 30-year-old.
Yeah, but
hey, come on now.
Yeah.
Everyone's sleeping in the house.
Yeah.
It's like it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, and she's crying, and Rob is like, no, don't do that. No.
All right. I agree with you.
How did it go?
Nice.
Did it work?
No, it didn't work, of course.
Of course, it didn't work because she needed someone to calm her down.
I know, I did eventually.
Not the other way around. But you know what's the funniest part? Like this morning, we have this amazing lady who helps us, Emily. So Emily comes to the house, and the baby tells Emily, hey, my dad, last night, he was saying, hey, duérmete, which means like, sleep now.
Duérmete ahora.
Yeah.
No, but
I can't believe yelling sleep now doesn't work.
What I'm really saying, what I was really saying is,
How's that not
you
funny?
got to get some sleep. What I'm really saying is, hey, I got to get some sleep. I got to get some sleep. I've been up all night here. But I stayed there for another 2.5 hours, which is a mistake.
Yes.
I can't. She's still supposed to stay. You got to let the kid sleep. You know, I do agree with that. Let the kid sleep. She got her own room. Not every kid gets her own room. Tonight I'm gonna tell her that one. Hey, you got your own room. Be happy. I didn't get my own room. I just sleep. I remember 911 Nelson Avenue was where. That's supposed to be your porn name. Supposed to be like your first dog, our first pet. My first pet was a parakeet named Cliff. And we used to live on 911 Nelson Avenue in Pacifica, which was Nelson Avenue. So my porn name would be Cliff Nelson.
Wow.
I like how he thinks about
How do you
his
figure
porn
it
name.
out?
It's your pet. You know this. Come on, you've been in radio. You guys have nothing to talk about. You got to create stuff like this.
My pet's name was Huge, and I grew up on Cock Road. What would that be, guys?
Okay, so anyway, so I literally, like when I was a little kid, I had to share my room with I got two sisters. And then, like, I'm in there. I'm like, so she's got her own room. I'm going to tell her that one tonight. Hey, you got your own room.
Dude, just explain.
I need my sleep.
You don't pay rent. I would just tell her.
I know.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go tonight.
No. I'll do it.
Thank you. No, you're doing great, and I'm very proud of you, darling. But I think I'm gonna have to do it.
See, she's reading those books about how to deal with people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, kill them with kindness, something like that. Is that what it's called?
It seems like it's working.
Smother them with love. I don't know. I think it's what
Annoy them with a more.
Yeah, exactly. Pretend you appreciate what they're doing.
In Rob's defense,
I do. No,
do you
she's
think,
doing great.
And do you think part of it could be she was yelling "mommy"? Because I've had this happen. I have 3 kids,
No.
and then like the mommy doesn't come, so they get like, "Hey, I was asking
I'll
for
take
mommy."
whatever.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, she's just used to us being in there while she's falling asleep, and then she gets up and she wants us to be there to help her fall asleep.
No, but
again.
when Rob was going on the whole duérmete, like it's time to sleep, then she started yelling, "Mommy!" Like she needed her attorney.
Then I said, okay, I made a difference. So let's bring in a moderator here. How about some quieres leche? Would you like some milk?
Yeah, but who gave you the idea of the milk?
Mommy.
Yeah, because I went to the room.
Did you do it? Oh, you did.
I went to the room, and Rob was outside the room, and he was like, "No, don't get in there." And I was like, "No, I just came to say like, calm the fuck down." And then give her some milk.
Rob, if it happens tonight, if I could just suggest, just write her a formal letter.
Yes.
Just with what you want and just have her read that.
No, but I appreciate that Rob helps.
No. But
you took the kids to the horses today. That was very nice too.
I think I put them on the wrong horse though.
Yeah, I saw the video.
So do you want to go? It was like baby shaken, not scared. I put her on the Griffith Park beautiful horsey thingies.
I saw.
They make you sign a.
I showed Jamie and David the video.
Where is it?
It was like a carousel gone haywire. Like it was. The horse was going so fast, and Madeline was not holding on.
I said, "Do you want to go?"
She was not holding on. Thank God she had a belt.
I said, "Do you want to go on the fast horsey or the slow?" She said, and she's a nice kid, and she's
probably scared from last night.
She has no.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know what fast means.
Here it is. Let me see she doesn't know what fast. Okay, hang on. There it is. Oh, you see her shaking a little bit. There's it.
Yeah, I was concerned about her brain.
Oh yeah, she's shaking. That's me. She doesn't know what hold on is either. I didn't know.
Tell her, Rob. That's her fault if she doesn't. You tell her.
This is me laughing at her. No, I'm telling her to hold on to the horsey, and she's just bouncing all over the place, and she's being chased by the guy because realizing maybe the belt's not going to keep her in. But
and you're laughing.
I'm laughing, yeah. But it looked hilarious.
And she's fine. She had a good time.
She's fine.
She's fine. Well, she's been taking a nap for the last 5 hours, but yes. She's trying to recover from that.
I said, "Rápido or despacito?" And she said, "I like that song." And she went with the
Eagles.
Despacito. And so she went. She went with the slow horse on the next one. But yeah. Anyway, our kids know we're never going to beat them, and I think that's a weakness. I think they need to know that there's an option there. That there's an option of some sort of other level. I've seen you, by the way. I've never hit our kids, so you know. But I've seen you. I don't know if you ever hit them, but if you I
never hit them.
But Madeline, but you give her like the feeling that she's been like, when she misbehaves at you.
Yes. Yeah, I do slap her hand very lightly.
Mm-hmm. You make a show of it, but you don't really hurt her.
Exactly. Just because sometimes she hits you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Or she hits her older sister without a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and her sister,
and I don't like
who's
that.
pretty much, yeah. So you do the physical show of it, and then she says, "I sorry, mommy."
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yes.
I sorry, mommy.
Yeah.
Does this make me a bad father? And I'm not in any way joking, but sometimes what I do is, because I've never been physical with my kids, but sometimes if, say, my littlest kid, who's 4, is pulling a little bit of my daughter's hair, and she's 7, I kind of let it go for a minute, and then she pulls his hair a little bit. It's almost like an equalizer without the parent having to get involved.
But we're talking about, we have a 2-year-old over here, because that's a boy, a 4-year-old boy, and a 7-year-old girl. Well, we have like a 2-year-old and a 6.5-year-old who does like taekwondo. She does gymnastics.
That's true.
If she really wanted to, she could wail on this kid.
Yeah, Miranda is super, super patient and very nice and way too tolerant, because even though Madeline is 2.5, I think she has the strength of a 10-year-old. She's super strong.
No, but literally our daughter Miranda, the older daughter, the 6-year-old, has a scar on her face from getting scratched from Madeline.
Yeah,
it's like, but my attitude is like not. I would say, "Hey, why are you putting your face next to basically a cat?" So get your face. She's potentially gonna do something. And she'll put her face right into her.
Yeah, but I have to admit that I told Miranda that it's okay to pull her hair back, or it's okay to pinch back, but just kind of like measure it a little bit.
Right,
that's really tough. You're asking a 6-year-old to measure her response when she's getting
believe it or not, she does.
Yeah,
but she does, and that also teaches the little one that she shouldn't hurt the oldest.
I tell my son, "Hey, do what you want, choke her, but if she taps out, you got to stop. If you feel a tap,
that makes sense.
It's over."
Yeah.
Well, that's good advice, Jamie.
Yeah. Anyways, that's good.
Jamie's single, by the way, now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is really hard to take care of the 3 kids by yourself.
Yeah,
that is true.
I'm not doing it.
I've never. Oh yeah,
I'm not doing it.
Whoever's doing it is great.
But I mean, even when I'm home, I feel like I'm not. I'm trying my best, but I don't know if I'm trying to take care of them.
No, you are.
Nothing horrible's happening.
You're doing it. I mean, like Roseanne always said, like, if my husband comes home when the kids are still alive, I've done my job.
I sometimes feel like I use that barometer.
Use that voice too.
But you know what we were talking about today?
What?
That you actually are really good at taking the kids to places. Like you're very good at, like going to the horses, or you really enjoy
swimming.
I love that, yeah.
Or even Rob likes to go to Disneyland, that kind of stuff. I don't like it.
Why is that? Well, you're like a germ freak, first of all.
Well, but besides that, I feel like I'm more indoorsy.
Okay.
Like I really like to play with the kids in the house and create the stories and all that. I'm not good at taking them to
My
places.
dad used to love to travel, love to go places. That was like his, my mom would always say, Marvin, can we afford to go? And my dad was like, we can't afford not to go. Let's go. I remember hearing that. I mean, every time. Maybe
that's nice.
Yeah, because you got to get out and you got to do things and show them. Because I always thought like it was the best thing when you get kids out of their environment. They realize the world is a lot bigger than their school or their neighborhood, and like it makes their little neighborhood and their problems smaller. So it's good to get them out and see the world. That helped me a lot. So I'm trying to do the same thing with our kids.
I sense from Rob like this super comfortableness too, like comfortable on the horses with 2 kids of different ages, comfortable at the store. I'm very similar to you, Patricia, where it's just like stress. I can't even imagine taking them all swimming, putting on their suits. And you, Rob, have this thing where you're super comfortable in any environment. Disneyland's the worst place in the world.
God, I don't like
But I do. I'm not comfortable. Like, I have to like have my stuff. I'm like as Patricia loves to call me
marijuana.
Patricia likes to calls me a
mobile hoarder.
Because I have to have the stuff.
What you got? What's your stuff?
Well, my stuff is everything. Every time we go somewhere, like if we go to Disneyland, we bring our own food because I just can't.
Well, if we go anywhere.
Okay, if we go anywhere.
What do you mean?
If we leave the house.
Anywhere.
No, just because I just don't like them eating like the crap that I ate. Right. My parents didn't know any better, truthfully. Like my dad would like have like his spaghetti would be with tuna and ketchup. Oh, and it was like I'm not eating that. When I was 9, I went like, okay, I know enough about. I didn't even know the word what culinary was. Or we would go out to eat one day a week. On Sunday, we go get Chinatown. And we get Chinese food. The same table, same Chinese restaurant, and it had a lazy Susan. They put all the food out at one time. We'd spin the food around, blah, 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 eat. We'd gorge ourselves. One day a week on Sunday, because that's what Jews do. They go out and they have Chinese food on Sundays or Christmas. And then that was it. But I remember, my mom was this way. There was like a shooting at a restaurant in San Francisco in like 1976 or 77. It was like some kind of triad gang warfare. And we never went back to Chinatown ever again. That was just it. So that was the last
that
of the
messed up the Sundays.
Yeah, that was it.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's a lazy Susan? Is that like a lazy waitress that is named Susan or what?
Well, a lazy Susan is just a circular. You have a circular table. You know, Chinese restaurant.
It's the one that they put like
and
in the middle?
And then it spins. So you don't have to like, can you reach for that? You just spin it and they keep the food.
But I'm sure it is named after some lazy bitch.
Exactly right.
Let's bring in that fat asshole. And
Jesus,
I made this because you won't get off your ass.
Here, I'll show you a lazy Susan right here. It's even more. It's less lazy than you stupid cow.
Oh God, guys, calm down.
But so that's what we did, and that's what we would do. I don't know, but I like to bring stuff. So when we go to Disneyland, I want the kids to have something kind of healthy, and the only way to guarantee that, I don't want them to eat junky food. I had Coca-Cola in my bottle when I was a little kid. It's like, and I wasn't breastfed. I think that's part of my mental problems I probably must have. But
probably.
like they were told in the 60s, early 60s, don't use those boobs.
No.
You got better purposes. Do something else with those. Don't that thing that was evolved from evolution, mammary glands. We got a better idea. It's called corn syrup in a bottle. And we'll color it white.
Don't touch that thing on that woman's body that has a straw on the end of it.
Made specifically for you. No, so no. My mom totally bought into that shit.
But
That's
you're
why
serious about the Coca-Cola?
I've never believed the medical establishment. I've always been a skeptic of it because that's part of the reason. Because they also said back in the 60s, like, what else is good for you? You've got some little mental problems. Obviously, you got some issues. You're depressed. We got the fix for that.
Shock.
Electroshock therapy. Yes. Part of your brain that doesn't we got part of it. Hopefully we're going to zap you, and then hopefully that part that's making you depressed will die. They would zap you.
Oh, wow.
Then President Kennedy's sister, Rosemary, got zapped. That was in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
They literally, I'm sorry. I think they lobotomized her. They basically just took apart, they just turned her into a
They
vegetable.
tried to start over with some people. They tried to erase their brains almost like a hard drive.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I do think that was weird that you mentioned.
You zapped our cleaning lady the other day, by the way.
What happened?
Now, wait a minute. We have this thing. First of all, there's China deals with pain. We're jumping all over the place here. In our first podcast. Now, there is a... Okay, like it's in America. I don't think you can get. They have bug zappers for outside, but if you want to kill like a zapper and carry around like a weapon, I don't think they allow that. But China, of course, allows anything. They also, that's the thing about China that I love the most. It's like they don't have those ethical, moral problems that we pretend that we have over here. They can be like a Nike store open up on one side of the street in Guangdong province, and right on the other side of the street are fake Nikes. You can call up a corporation. You can call up a factory over in China and go, hey, listen, I'm going to ask you to do something illegal here. I'm going to ask you to. I want you to make some fake Nikes. I know they make the real ones across the street. Also, if you don't mind, throwing in some fake Gucci bags, some fake Louis Vuittons. I know because what I'm asking you. You may have some ethical problems with this, some moral problems, because I'm basically asking you to steal. For the goodwill that these companies have built up and spent money on and advertising for over the years and years and years, and obviously you to steal that. So if you have a problem with an issue about that and not want to do that, I understand, and I'd feel terrible. I'm even asking you, but that's what I want you to do. How many do you need, and when do you need them?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
So anyway.
I'd love a pair of Mikeys, whatever they call
So, I'm saying, so like when we were in China for our honeymoon, we went to China, not a lot of people. They go to Hawaii or whatever, we went to China. And we were in Sangyang Island, and I was getting bit up by these mosquitoes. And I said, that was it. I mean, I get bit on the face, like, I don't know. How many times did I get bit on the face?
I don't know, but over 40 times probably.
And of course, they don't go after Patricia.
No.
They don't go after the Mexican.
No, they know better.
Yes, they don't want to come down with anything. Now, come on.
Oh, Jesus, what was that?
Well, you said they know better.
Yeah, but you completed that, you asshole.
Okay, but
maybe the mosquitoes were like, this stuff's organic over here. You guys got to try this out.
No, this other stuff's it's got too many chiles in it. It's got jalapenos and some habanero. So anyway, I got bit up, and then we just went down to the store and I got one of those zappers, and I went hunting for these mosquitoes.
And the zapper is a tennis racket type of thing?
It looks like a tennis racket.
It looks like a tennis racket, but it has a different purpose than a tennis racket. Tennis racket, you're playing. This is just to kill mosquitoes or other bugs or flies. Yeah. Patricia hates flies, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that anybody loves them. Thank God we got flies in here. So anyway, I'm going around and I went hunting and I got them all, those bastards, because I figure out where they hide. They'd underneath or in the closet. They wait for you to fall asleep. They go, oh.
Isn't that the most romantic honeymoon ever?
That sounds beautiful.
Tell them the truth. Also on the honeymoon, because we're in China, and in China, and I was 45 at the time we got married.
Yes.
Okay, so,
well, I have to tell you this story because
we're having Chinese food every day, and imagine what happens to a mostly white. Okay, Filipino guy eating Chinese food every day.
Okay.
No, he had some trouble. Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
I had hemorrhoids on our honeymoon.
Oh, no.
And really bad. I've never had it before. Never had it after.
Well, that's what he says, but I don't know. I don't know anymore.
At any point
then this okay, it's just starting to feel better. And okay, let's go get Chinese food again.
And then we're in the taxi, and he's literally laid down. He couldn't sit. He was
we got it. And then where are we going? To get more Chinese food. What? It was Chinese food. It was for breakfast, you get Chinese food.
Yeah.
You're in China. You're eating Chinese food.
At any point, Patricia, did you think, what have I done?
Yes.
She's still thinking that.
I still think that.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jamie. I thought you were my friend.
Yeah. That's why I think sometimes I have some dreams there's some freedom in there.
What?
Wait a minute. I don't want to hear this part.
Do you guys remember your dreams?
Podcast.
I do.
I don't.
Patricia writes them down and she goes over them and tries to interpret them in some way to malign me in some way.
No.
It's a woman kind of.
But you genuinely. I will think of the last 30 seconds of my dream when I wake up and I go, oh yeah, there was a taxi, so an Uber driver. He was, I don't know.
Well,
that's all I remember.
That actually, that's a really good way to know what's going on in your, subconscious mind. Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
But you have a skill. Patricia told me about a dream today, and she was like, it was an Uber driver. The license plate was SJ3425. He went.
No. But you remember, you'll dream for 3 hours or an hour and a half or whatever your REM sleep is, and you remember the whole hour and a half of the dream.
Absolutely.
I remember because I'll go hey, yeah, I had a dream. And I remember I was flying and I landed, and then I woke up, and then I had and the baby wanted breakfast. And you remember, and you go into anyway, so then there was this house and there was an intruder, and then I was in there and I had to stab him 50 times and he didn't die. So I cut off his head and he still didn't die. And so I'm stabbing and cutting and burning. So I decided to light the head on fire and he still didn't die. And then I realized the head was you. Anyway, so What do you want for breakfast?
The whole time you did not help.
The whole time you did nothing. You were there standing, laughing.
So let me tell you something.
What?
The reason I think I remember very well my dreams is because I exercised that a lot.
Okay.
So I had a diary of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And that was supposedly to be really good. Like the psychologist that I was working with, she said that the best way to know what's going on in your brain, and sometimes you're too stressed out, and if you write your dreams,
that's true. No. But it's true. If you start to practice writing your dreams down,
you practice it.
It's like anything,
and you can control your dreams. Like I think I have a very good control over my dreams.
Like lucid dreaming, where you can.
Well, we're talking about that.
Yeah.
There's the Junta tribe, or not like Junta virus, but there's like the Junta. It's like a South American tribe that I'm probably mispronouncing, but they're like literally they teach their kids to control their dreams, and they like teach them to like I said. So tell me about your dream last night. And I don't know if they speak English, but I'm just saying. So so they and then they tell them a dream like, well, there was a little bear, and then you go, well, so what happened with the bear? Well, he chased me. Okay, I want you to go back into your dream, and I want you to chase the bear. And I want you to take that bear, make it a small bear, make it your friend, and blah, blah, blah. And I want you to, and so basically it's to train themselves at a young age to not be afraid and to control their dreams and to like, and it's true that if you think about it, like if you want to go even further into it, like the Australian Aboriginal people, the native, I don't know what's the most politically correct thing to say, but the native people there, they really believe like the dream time is the real time, that the dreaming, and like the wake time is the fake time.
Oh wow,
is the dream time.
Well, you know what I used to do, and I think it really helped me because most of the time I know when I'm dreaming. So if I'm inside of my dream, I would know that
you're
I'm
semi-conscious.
Well, it's a dream.
And I would change it. I know it's a dream. And the technique.
I know it's a dream sometimes.
The technique that I use is I always look at my watch because
and if the watch says on dreaming mode.
No, I swear because I can.
You look at your watch in your dream.
Yeah, because I can never see. You won't be able to write, and you won't be able to look at the time.
Interesting.
There. If you don't see those, you're dreaming, and then you can do whatever you want with your dream.
Wow, that's very interesting. I never thought about that.
Or you're awake and you're illiterate.
That's
true.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I like that.
That's my gift to you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you waited 10 years of being in a relationship with me to give me that little nugget of information.
Yeah.
So what else? You see, we have this TV show called Real Rob, and maybe we should say how this happened. How did this happen? Well, we had a show on CBS called Rob.
Yes.
And I didn't think that was... I didn't love that experience, to be honest. I mean, I was grateful for the money, grateful for the opportunity, and I was hoping it was going to turn into something.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I think creatively it was different from what you wanted to have.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like it. The guy Les Moonves, who's... is no longer there, let's just say. It's funny because I just did Ileana Douglas. Not funny, but I just did Ileana Douglas's podcast, and the whole time I was doing the podcast, I said, "This is the one that Les Moonves was like sexually harassing." And
what if they have audio of that?
So anyway, so Les Moonves had some ideas for the show that just like I don't know, I didn't agree with it, and blah blah blah. Anyway, his career is over.
Like harassing women?
Like harassing women. I didn't agree with that.
You wanted to grab the show's tit without asking.
So anyway, the show, it averaged, we had 13.5 million people watch the opening, season premiere. It averaged 11 million over the run of the show.
That's a ton of viewers, man. I mean, that's a...
Over the run of the 8 episodes or so, whatever we did. And then it got canceled, and I said, you know what, thank you. I never felt the show was real, so I said, well, let's just do a show, we'll call it Real Rob. And it wasn't more thought out than that. And then we just started, we said, let's just do it. And then we just said, well, we're going to do the pilot. Let's just do the pilot. And then, what was the decision to do the whole season?
Well, I think we were just going to write the pilot, and then you decided we should write the whole thing. And then from there, then we thought maybe we should shoot the whole thing, too, since we have it.
Since we wrote it.
Yeah.
It was like 377 pages or 277, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was interesting. I forgot that you weren't the first choice for for playing yourself, Jamie.
I was a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a writer on this show, and there was a character. I remember that you put me in a couple scenes as your opening act at comedy clubs, and then I subsequently cut those scenes for the betterment of the script, even though I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing. But then, as it was getting closer, I think someone you had wanted really badly, someone really talented that you'd wanted for the role, something happened and you either didn't want them anymore or they ended up doing a movie, something weird happened, and you thought of me somehow like as the assistant, and I don't know what could have caused it. I remember I was bringing you a tea at the time. I just ironed a couple of your shirts.
You're
and
checking the tire pressure.
I checked your tire pressure just earlier that day. But then you had me read for the part at your kitchen table with about 2 minutes notice, so no time to even get nervous.
Yeah.
And then you turned to Patricia and go, I think Jamie's going to play the assistant. And she was like, okay. And you go change the name of the guy to Jamie.
Your biggest fan, Patricia, by the way.
Yes.
Back at you.
Always.
Back at you.
Mm-hmm.
And well, thank you for that.
So
I have never thanked you.
Well, you're welcome. And I'm just glad that everybody knows you weren't the first choice for the show. Isn't that terrible? I didn't even remember that.
I wasn't the first choice to play your wife either. In real life.
I've been married before.
Not in the show.
Is that where you're going? I've been married before?
Not in the show, in real life.
Yes, I'm divorced. Anyway, but I thought you'd be great at it, and you are. So it was fun. And we've had a good time. And the thing about the show is that it was extremely easy to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
We've had no problems.
No problems at all.
It was just an instant.
Yeah.
I mean, once we had so much help from so many great people.
Well, you know what, though? I don't think we really...
we didn't think it through.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like our second kid. We have a 2-year-old.
Has anyone ever written and shot a whole show?
I thought it in, but I didn't think it through. What?
Has anyone ever written and shot an entire series and then gone, we'd like you to consider buying this? Has that ever been done before?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Because Netflix...
I'm sure there's I mean, there may be some people who don't want to talk about it. I don't know. But I believed in it, and I know we wrote some funny stuff, and I thought we could, and we had a really great cinematographer, and so we got, okay, and then let's go to Florida. We'll save money. We didn't save any money. We spent all the money on flights and on hotels.
True. That's something that I think it would be very helpful to, for people who's thinking about doing...
Well, we did.
Something, yes.
Yeah. Well, I should say, we made the show the first season, and then Netflix bought it after watching 5 minutes of it. And
yes.
They said, we want this show.
Yeah. So
thank you, Netflix.
Exactly. Thank you, Netflix. That sounds like it was very easy. But again, I think like if someone out there is considering doing their own TV show or writing it and do it, really, really surround yourself
with money. Get a lot of money.
With Rob Schneiders.
With Rob
That's
Schneiders.
what I would...
No, with people that know what they're really doing, because otherwise
you make mistakes.
Yes, and those mistakes
are
cost
expensive.
money.
We had I forgot about this, but you reminded me about the house. Why don't you tell that story? Where we're going to shoot. There you go. There's an important place. You have to get a place to shoot your show. So we had a house in Florida. We're ready to shoot. The night before, you can explain what happened better than me.
I try to remember exactly how it happened, but we literally lost, because in a sitcom, a lot of scenes are inside the house. The family's in the house. And the night before, the person that had locations, the person that had gotten our house, did not check with the homeowners association.
What was the line producer?
Was the line producer?
It wasn't like, I'm sure it was
it was a problem also with the locations.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But anyway, so they got the house permission.
Yeah.
They didn't get permission from the homeowners association. So anyway, we literally...
And you guys are spending money and...
Yeah. So we had the shutdown, which means you're having the crew just standing around waiting, spending money, and eating as well. They you got to feed people, and they got to put them up in hotels. So it was like we had to delay for a week until we got a house, and luckily we got the nicest guy in the world. What a blessing it was he bailed us out. The great Robin Cowie from Blair Witch Project.
agree.
Thank
amazing.
you, Rob. He's such a good guy.
What a cool
I'm
house.
just gonna clap for him.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
Do you guys remember this story? Do you remember?
I remember like his beautiful painting on the wall.
That's the story.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We get to the house and he's giving us a tour of the house.
And he's got
Beautiful
great art
house.
on the wall. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. There's art, and then he says, "But this is my prize. Like you guys have to see."
And it's this 10-foot mural that's on this canvas. That's
Yeah.
more than 10 feet. Maybe it was like 18 feet. The really high ceilings.
And remember, he
Yeah,
pressed
it
a
was
button. He had like a remote, and he pressed a button, and like the shades came down, like, and then like this movie thing opened up. But when closed, was a hand painted, beautiful mural.
One of a kind.
Yes.
One of a kind.
On canvas. Anyway, so one of our guys is hanging a light, and he literally put like ripped the painting with the
Holy
with the edge of the ladder or something. He just leaned on, Anyway, so Robin, the nicest guy in the world.
world.
At that point, get out is what I would say.
Yeah.
And he's like, he flew in the painter to repair it. And the painter was a lot more pissed off than.
He looked very annoyed as people were
Yeah,
walking by.
he wasn't
He's just
happy
like,
about that.
Jesus, what, I mean, you have to really be an asshole. You have to go out of your way to rip this painting.
It's
15
20 feet in the air.
Yeah. It's not like it's like somebody tripped over a coffee table and put their fucking head through it. You had to climb a ladder. And at the very top, you had to put like a stick through it. You had to really not like that painting. So anyway, that was like, and so but it was it was fun to do. We had some. I felt bad because if you're on a production, people can sue you, and somebody without going into too much detail, somebody who was about to get fired, accidentally slipped, and then we had insurance.
Yeah.
So they sued, So we have insurance, but then they also sued the house. So this guy did us a favor, ends up getting sued by this person. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like
I know.
terrible.
I know that's terrible.
But Robin, I love you, Robin Cowie. You're the greatest guy.
Yes,
if people
thank
don't know
you.
who he is, they would know his biggest movie, the most profitable movie ever made, Blair Witch. Most profitable, in other words, from ratio from like expense to profit. They made it for $35,000. I think after putting special effects in everything, $350,000. $550 million. That was when $550 million was $550 fucking million.
Incredible.
Did you guys like that movie? Were you scared?
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
I wasn't scared by it. Well, you were like, you're young.
I was scared.
Yeah, you were 8 when you saw it.
No, I was a little older. I think.
Okay. Well, that came out like 1995.
I can't remember. Let's check it out.
It came out it had to come out maybe earlier than that. Blair Witch. Okay.
Well, David actually was very young. He was like
he was 3, being also scared by it. But anyway, that was the thing. He has a great story about that, where they literally were making the movie for like $35,000. All they had no money. They would stay out in the woods and be shooting this thing Monday through Friday, and then they would go home for the weekends, whatever. And this one guy, they're in the woods. This one guy came from out of the woods and saying, what year is it?
99.
99. Holy crap. So it was a cover of Time magazine, that movie. So anyway, so this guy came from out of the woods going, hey, what are you guys doing out here?
Yeah.
I don't know if he really talked like that, but if you're in the woods, I think if there's a good chance, you got a voice like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy comes over and he says, hey, you got one of them, what's that there? That's one of them fancy cameras. What do you do? What you shooting here when? We shoot Monday through Friday. What do you do with that camera on the weekend? Nothing. Well, how about this? Why don't I give you $5,000 and I'll do something on the weekend and you get it back there now Monday morning, bright and early, like nothing happened. And they were like, yeah, all right, whatever,
I would have never said, yes, take our camera.
But after, they're one camera, because they had one camera.
Yeah, but they needed
that's how
the
much.
cash.
That's how much they needed it, right?
They needed the cash.
You have
so
to
they
do what you got to do.
So they did. So they gave the guy, and they after a while, curiosity got the better of them. And I think it was like a high def video. No, they don't need to have high def in 1999, but I'm sure they had like something. But it was like a 3/4 inch camera. I don't know what it was, but they finally, like, the guy left the tape in there or whatever before, and it was of course shooting a porno of him and his girlfriend.
Oh boy.
God.
What were you saying, the specifics of it? Because I remember Robin told us.
I remember Robin saying something that made me laugh, where he said there was no one else in the room, but they were trying to get different camera angles, and so the guy
of the
would,
sex.
Of the sex. So say like the guy was in a certain position, he'd get to a certain position, and then he would tell the girl to freeze, and then he would go back and change a lens. He would put on like a closer lens and then get back into the same position.
Oh, wow.
Because he was directing as well.
Exactly,
He's very talented.
He was cutting in camera.
I heard he was writing it as well.
Jeez.
Oh God.
Well, anyway, so that's just going to show how difficult it is to make things. So he was our champion. He really helped us out.
Yes.
And I had some great friends who helped us out. Charles Edelstein, the great Bill Hebner, and Morris Chia, Kenny Goldstone, all helped us out to really, to help complete that financing for us. Thank you.
Yes, that was great.
Blair Witch was like the first. Was that the first found footage horror movie?
Yes, it was.
It was copied over and over.
That started a whole frickin' franchise.
And they found that porn footage. I mean, that's a double.
So they
double found
It's a
footage.
win-win.
It's a found. That's a found footage of found. Ew! Oh God! But luckily,
By the way, it was 15
what?
when that movie came out.
You're 15.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I was old enough to be scared.
Okay, I don't like horror films. I get scared shitless.
Yes, Rob doesn't like.
Is that right?
Why would I want to pay money to have the shit scared out of me? I don't like it. I don't mind watching at home. I swear to God, when I saw a movie, we didn't know what the movie's about. My parents, when they take us to go see movies, I swear to God, this is a true story. My parents would go see a movie like they thought this movie. It was the Marlon Brando movie, Last Tango in Paris. They thought it was like a dancing movie with like
Well, it
Marlon
sounds
Brando.
like it.
Yeah, Last Tango in Paris, and they didn't know anything about like the butter anal sex scene. My mom.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they didn't go see movies.
I didn't know that.
They didn't see movies for like years after that.
I've been doing the tango completely wrong.
So the next movie that they went to go see, it was literally like years later. They didn't see a movie, and they thought they were going to see a comedy because Diane Keaton was in it. It was called Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which is like Richard Gere's first movie, and he plays like a serial killer killing, and she's out having sex with these strange guys and getting darker and darker in this thing until she's finally stabbed to death by this like sex serial killer. That was it. My parents never saw another movie. We're never going again. It's ridiculous. But it's terrible. That terrible movie. I can't stand it. But then we went. I had to go see a movie. I made them go see my mom go see a movie, and like I think when we were in Hawaii because that's where my grandfather lived in Hawaii. So we were over there. I spent a lot of summers of my childhood there. We went to go see a movie, Alien.
Oh my God!
And I swear, my mother saw the whole thing.
That's one where it climbs out of the.
Yeah, it's
stomach.
scowling with her ears plugged. And I swear to God, I'm not that far removed from that.
Yeah, that's true.
I get scared. I don't want to hear it because I can control what I hear. It's too loud in there. They turn up the music. I get scared. Like The Ring scared the shit out of me.
We went to see Harry Potter once, and Rob punched me.
What?
Remember?
What?
The
Remember
children's
that?
movie?
Yes.
Okay,
Harry
wait a
Potter?
minute.
Yes.
Let me just say,
for no reason.
first of all, I accidentally punched you in the vagina, and I
You
apologize.
did. I swear
I
you
apologize.
did.
I just like you were sleeping. You were like sideways. It was one of those.
No,
fancy-
I wasn't. There's
What?
no way you can justify that punch.
Oh, you're at home. I'm sorry. You're at home watching this?
No, we're in the
We're
theater.
in the
What?
movie theater.
My arm just kind of boom. I don't know. It just kind of
we
extended.
were watching. Seriously, like I was sitting next to him, and he suddenly just did this, huh, and he just punched me in the vagina for no reason.
I don't. I don't know what happened there, and I apologize again. I just like I had a closed fist, and it just extended, and your vagina just happened to be on the other end of it.
So wait, can I ask what was happening on screen?
It was
That
Harry
made you
Potter,
so
wasn't
angry
that?
at
But I
Patty's
did get a
vagina?
little tense.
He got tense with Harry Potter.
Like, what happened? Was it?
I don't think nothing really scary because
But it wasn't. It wasn't one of the early Harry
I
Potters.
saw the other 6-year-old, kids being very, like,
They weren't punching anybody.
they weren't
else in the
punching
vagina.
anyone. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
they were very calm.
But you don't like that stuff. I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, I'm not a
She
big
doesn't.
fan of it. Well, there was this movie that scared the shit out of me when I was a little boy called It's Alive.
I remember that.
And then, it was like it was like the poster was scarier than anything. It was basically, like a baby it was like a crib. It was like a stroller or a bassinet, I think they called it back
I
then.
remember that.
And there was like the devil's hand coming out of it. They said, "It's alive." I said, "Ooh, I want to see that." And it really wasn't that. I mean, you think about it, wasn't. But when you're like 10 or 11, it's
Yeah.
my God, that's frightening.
I, all by myself on the road, within the past 3 years, saw a movie called Don't Breathe. And it was extremely scary, like very scary, especially being by myself.
Yeah.
And then about 3 minutes in, the guy sitting next to me got up and returned with a huge thing of nachos and just loudly ate nachos and ruined all the scare. Like, it's called Don't Breathe. You should don't eat nachos either.
Yeah.
It was awful.
What was the one where this woman, and she was like a porn star. I didn't realize because, but she was, and she had like this thing that would come out of her armpit, and it was like, and then it would like turn people into, zombies.
Yeah.
Throwing up. It was like brutal. What the hell was that called?
Surprised you didn't see it with your parents. List of movies you guys saw.
No, but they used to draw. We had this. There was a 6. Remember when there's like, look, they had, when I was a kid, they had a movie theater, and maybe they would have one next to that one. And then by sometime in the 70s, they go, hey, there's a lot of money to be made here. So they had these, when the multiplexes started, the first thing they just started was like 2. And then when they moved to 6, it was like, holy shit, there's 6 movies here. My parents, they literally would just drop us off, and we try to sneak in and watch as many movies, and we get caught or whatever. They finally had, they got wise to that, and they had ushers. Can I see your ticket, please? No, I lost in the other one. I had the other one. I was scared. Get the hell out of here. So
were concessions always just a total ripoff, or?
Oh yeah, but I remember. But that's the whole thing. I mean, I got into being healthy, but like when I was a kid, I literally my appendix exploded by the time I was a teenager. We used to have so much junk and so much candy and crap. I remember eating we would get a whole thing of tamales, hot tamales, which is like,
it's not the Mexican tamales.
No, these are like the red food dye number 40 cancer-ish, and these are red tamales, and it was like a little tiny bit hot, but and it was like the supersized one. I would go through a supersized pack of that, and then get an ice cream, then have the shitty popcorn with WD-40 oil or whatever the hell they put in it, and that's what we would do. And then you'd wash it down with a Coke or Pepsi, and that was the kind of crap. It's like, and you didn't think twice about that. I didn't at the time.
But now you're super healthy. How did you get into that?
What was the turning point?
Probably my dad dropping dead in front of me, going, "Hey, this isn't working. This isn't working." Yeah. So I mean, I definitely my dad was not a healthy guy. He wasn't unhealthy. He considered himself healthy because he didn't smoke. Because everybody smoked. He didn't smoke or drank. If he would have smoked or drank, he would have been dead in his 30s. But my dad was not an exercise guy. He wasn't a guy who was he didn't have a very expansive food palate. So I think it's when I started getting into health, was preventing my own death. But also I just it just seemed like Western medicine, the allopathic form of medicine, didn't seem to be... didn't work. It doesn't work. And I would say it doesn't work, because the idea of treating a human body in different parts, which is part of the allopathic set, different parts, is not homeopathic, which is whole treatment of something.
Interesting.
So it's a holistic, whole body treatment, where I think is just a better way to go. I mean, the idea that if you fix one part of your body screwed up, and yet that's the only part that's messed up, there's something wrong. That's why I just kind of it opened up the door to me. Then I met the great Raymond Francis, who's BeyondHealth.com. Beyond Health is his vitamin company, which Patricia and I are part owners in, I should say. And that opened up the doors to realizing what health is on a cellular level. And that's something I know people don't realize. And you tell them, and they look at you like you're some kind of lunatic. But
I thought you were a lunatic when I met you.
Why?
Well, because I remember opening Rob's fridge, and seriously, everything was green in there. Everything. And I was like, what? Where is the real food in here?
It was just all vegetables.
All vegetables, all kale and lettuce, and I mean, it looked like I was living with a rabbit, not with a guy.
But now it has changed. It's gone the other way.
I have to say that I learned with you, because Mexican food is very rich also, and
delicious. I love it.
It's delicious, but some of the dishes are very greasy and not very healthy.
And some of them don't have pork.
And some of them don't have lard.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, I really learned how to eat healthier with Rob.
Which is just, like I was saying,
But it was hard.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice. Coming, you left everything. You left your culture, family, career.
Yeah, but what I missed the most was the food.
Oh yeah,
I miss the food more than I missed my family and friends. Seriously.
Yeah, you can see your family on the weekends. You're eating every day.
Exactly.
Do you know the first time I met Rob?
So what just says one thing, but so the thing is, you tell people, they look at you like you're an alien or something. Like every second you're alive, your body's making 10 million new cells.
Really?
Every second. You are, and all the people listening, you are, Patricia, you too.
I am.
You're 70 trillion to 100 trillion cells. That's that's what you are, the physical realm. And so every second you're alive, you're making 10 million new cells. So depending on the hydration, depending on the sleep, depending on the toxicity, depending on the nutrition you're having, depending on the sleep and everything, is depending on the health of those new cells coming in. So either the new cells coming in are healthy, you're healthy. If they're not, you're not healthy. So the average person walking around the street, not healthy. So, but you can do things to supplement it, and you just do enough. And I think we're basically living in a toxic soup, and I think you just have to do enough. As Raymond Francis is keen to say, just do enough. And I think you could supplement it to be healthy. Try to eat healthy. Try to, try to have a juice every couple of days. And try not to do too.
Trying to eat vegetables, because that was a tough one for me, because I prefer eating meat over vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you now enjoy it, or do you do it because you know it's the right thing?
I think now I learned to enjoy it, but it was a process.
It is a process, but here's one of the weird things.
You have to re-educate your mouth, basically.
Well, I think another thing, though, too, is I think it's the kind of meat that you can eat too. When the people live the longest right now, Spain.
Why is that?
Booze, wine, pork. They have hamon. But it's not like the hamon, they're not ham like we have here. It is a real, it's raw. It's they cover it in ice for salt. If it's like a 27-pound, 27-kilo leg.
The pig's alive when they remove it. I mean, it's incredibly fresh.
They take the leg. I don't know how they do it, but I imagine the pig is not happy about losing any part of his body. He's probably not thrilled about. But then they bury it in salt for 27 days, and then they take it from there, and then they literally, the Fermin company, the great Fermin company of Spain, they hang it for for 4 years in there, and it just changes the whole chemistry of it, and it ends up being really like an avocado. The idea of it is chemically it's like an avocado, and you eat that and sell it. But I'm just saying, though, the Spanish, also I think the stress levels.
I was gonna say that. I think
they smoke and drink over there.
Every illness has an emotional connection.
Now, how would you know that?
Because it's true.
It is true, but how do you know that? What confirmed that?
Well, nothing actually. I just believe it.
How about a book? How about a book I gave you?
No, which one?
How about a book I gave you?
Oh, the When the Body Says No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, more than your book that you kindly gave me.
Gabor Mate.
Yeah.
Dr. Gabor Mate wrote
No,
this book.
it's really
called
good
When the
and it's
Body
very
Says
interesting.
No.
But
basically, says every illness is emotional.
That's true, and I have
I have
a book which is a dictionary of emotional.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
Illnesses and
the root cause.
And the root cause. And
so, what would you say? Give me an example
ridiculous.
of that. Give me an example.
Say someone's ear hurts or something. What would be?
Let's say you get hit by a car. What was?
So you're hit by a
even
car.
You know what though?
No, but even accidents.
Even accidents, supposedly you're attracting that to your life because there is something going on emotionally. Like for instance, people with arthritis, that's one of the the many of the illnesses there, right?
And so, what is the root cause of arthritis?
But the root cause for arthritis is resentment. So if you have some sort of resentment against someone, you create more acidity, or how do you call
why
that?
aren't I riddled with arthritis?
I know somebody's getting some.
I should have arthritis in my anus at this point.
I know
Maybe
somebody's
you
getting
do.
some arthritis medicine for Mother's Day. I'll tell you that.
No, but I swear, it's like, it's like a chronic resentment.
I agree with that.
But why Spain? But how do they?
Well, no, so I'm saying though,
I think they have more fun.
Well, I think they have more fun and there's less stress.
They're happier.
I mean, I will say, Americans. I mean, I think my understanding of Germans as well is that it's work too much. I think maybe even work hard more here. not harder, but more here, whereas they don't have a balance for it. And I will say that, like, I remember when I was doing a movie over in Amsterdam, and then I'm working in Holland, and I go like, the studio was saying, Sony was saying, why don't you guys work in 6-day weeks? And I just heard from the production people, they're like, we don't want, you don't want that. And it's like, you don't want them working 6-day weeks. And I go, well, okay, they don't want it. I don't want to piss them off, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the truth was, I said, I'm here. Let's just work, But I said, they don't want to do it. And then I saw a guy. I saw every day on the set. He was like one of the set decorator, lovely guy. He was always really nice and tan and happy. And every morning having a nice, cup of coffee and everything. And then I saw him. I left my hotel. I was staying in an apartment right on the Prinsengracht Canal, at a beautiful apartment right on the canal. And then Saturday morning, I'm just going over the shot list. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and maybe some space cake or whatever. So I leave the apartment, and I see this beautiful antique boat coming down, like a really small antique boat coming down the canal with these two little beautiful kids, blonde-haired kids, running around, and then this mother. The mother's lovely blonde lady with this plate of cheese and wine, and I see the guy, the set decorator, Jacques, and he's got he's steering the boat with his shirt off, beautiful chest, his hair flowing, like God, like that's why he wants Saturday off, so he can enjoy himself, spend time with his kids, and amazing. It's beautiful. Yeah. And so I say there's something in Spain, whereas they've got economic problems, they've got other issues, but I will say that they have they enjoy them live. There's you can't have a weekend over there without some kind of festival, whether it's throwing tomatoes festival, you have getting trampled by bulls festival. It's a festival where they have a festival.
They have food.
They've got food and they build their life around healthy, good food. They don't try to say what they can make the cheapest. And they'll have in San Sebastian, they'll have the square lined off, and you have 80-year-old women in the square, and it's a race. And what's the race? I don't see anything happening. Well, the race is picking the tiny little flower and taking the stem out of the flower, the stem being the most expensive spice in the world, saffron. And that's the and it's a beautiful thing. And then what they do when they're done at the end, whoever wins, gets a little whatever. And then they take all the saffron, they make this beautiful paella, and it's like, oh my God,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
I heard in Spain, even the three-legged pigs are happy.
You know what though? But last time that we went to Spain with the kids, something that I noticed, and actually was annoying for me, but I thought that it was the right thing to do, is when you go to the market. Remember they had this little mercado?
Which you go every day. Part of your day is going to the market.
Yes. They don't let you pick the fruits or the vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
They would do it for you.
Yeah. And it's very American to go let me try this, and you squeeze it, drop it, whatever.
They were really upset, and they said, no touching the fruits, because then when you touch them, you're squeezing and you're ruining it every time.
Makes sense.
In America, he's like, I want to. That's the same reason why people don't get out of the fast lane in America. It's my lane, God damn it! I pay my taxes too. In Europe, if you don't get out of the fast lane, they will run you off the road into a ditch. It's like you don't own the fast lane; it's everybody's. And so. Yeah. They don't let you touch the fruit. That was a big thing too.
Yeah, and
sometimes you buy fruit and it's fucked up too.
Exactly. So they give you good fruit and fucked up fruit, but I have to say that even the fucked up fruit,
it's better.
It's still not better, but it's still something edible. So I think what happens here is we're spoiled, and we want every fruit to look perfect
and be perfect, whatever.
And be perfect. And it could look
perfect. It could look perfect, but literally, you buy strawberries. The strawberries you got the other day, they're from Europe. Well, I don't want my fruit with more frequent flyer miles than I have. That's one of the things I insist on.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have, you were saying it the other day, you shouldn't have, blueberries in December coming from Peru. It's talk about what's warming the planet. Let's not, make that. I think you shouldn't have fruit out of season out of the country. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. But also I think we should be less concerned about how beautiful our fruits or vegetables are. Yeah. We should just buy them, because that's why we get to waste so much in here, and they don't waste in Europe.
That's true. They do. They definitely don't waste it, and they definitely, and they don't cut corners. They don't go, what will be cheaper? Instead of using milk, car oil. Instead of using butter, we take whatever we took out of our vehicle out of the oil pan and use that. It'd be way cheaper. I swear to God, in America, like that's one of the reasons why you wanted to why you went to that chef school to cook, is to learn how to make pastries and stuff, is because you never know what you're gonna get, and and even if stuff is delicious or whatever. I'm like, I do think like you are what you eat, and that there's nothing more important than that. And they don't cut corners there. If anything, I learned from Europe, it's that you can have like cut whatever, drive a crappy car, live in a box, but eat really good food. That's the lesson to me for live in a tiny place, but eat the best food that you can.
What's the worst oil? Is it canola? What's like the worst?
In my opinion, and I'm not an expert in pesticides, though I claim to be. No, I understand that the most genetically modified foods in America, my understanding of it is, my limited understanding of it is canola, and soybean. Soybeans, like American soybeans, I don't even know if they allow them in certain countries because of the genetically modified and the amount of pesticides in canola, which I was just talking to some people from Whole Foods about that. They literally pulled in to check out maybe the greatest grocery store in the world, Erewhon.
Incredible.
The best. And we it's one of the reasons why we never want to move is because we want to be near the Erewhon. The people are great. Unbelievable.
The outfits are
Everything's organic in there. Everything's organic, and they had the best coffee, whatever, and it's all organic, the whole store. And literally, the spies from Whole Foods were in there the other day, and I saw them kind of pulling up in a van, and I went like, aha! Where are you guys? What production? Whatever. And they weren't. They said they were from Whole Foods. We're checking out the competition. And I said, well, you guys got to stop using crap like canola.
That's right.
And maybe you'll, because if you want to get people to buy that food, they're going to want to get the healthy stuff. And the problem is, though, as you pointed out, it's the price point.
Yes.
It's like, people like, they want to eat as healthy as they can. Yeah, it is, but I think you can do it. It can be done.
And isn't Whole Foods Amazon? Can't they stop putting canola oil in everything?
They can, but they were supposed to take all the GMOs out by 2018, and they sold to Amazon. And I like Whole Foods, and I think Whole Foods is still doing as good a job as they can. I'd like them to do more. I'd like them to commit to not helping ruin the planet, and I hope that they'll switch over.
I think they're probably trying. Trader Joe's is pretty good too.
Yeah, I like a joke on our TV show about Trader Joe's.
I feel like
Episode
when you go to
season 1,
Trader Joe's to Whole Foods to Erewhon, it goes from people wearing more clothes to less clothes. Like at Trader Joe's, it's a lot of people wearing like maybe a nightgown, like Whole Foods, you get a girl in like a sundress. Erewhon, it's like underwear. It's almost upset. Remember me and you, Rob? We were upset that one day because those girls looked like we both have daughters. And we looked at these girls and we were like, you can't leave the house like that. You didn't put on the rest of your shit.
No, it was literally like yoga pants and Band-Aids covering their nipples at that point.
It was so hard to get the Band-Aids off.
Well, the other day I was
No, it's the yoga pants. It's like, that's why I said you don't have to cheat anymore. There's yoga pants. It's like, I throw it all away. I throw the 10 years of marriage away just to find out what that ass looks like. Well, there it is. I'm dying to find out what the other side looks like. Well, there it is too. Right here in Target.
Yeah, well, we went to Pilates. Jamie and I, we go to Pilates sometimes.
Yes.
And then, remember last time we went to Pilates, and then after that we went to Erewhon, and this girl was wearing like the top of a bikini.
Yeah, we were at Pilates. A workout thing, and then we went to Erewhon and we're like, wow, these outfits are tiny.
Yeah.
And we had just been at Pilates.
Yeah, that was crazy. But hey, if you want to wear whatever you want to wear it.
Wear what you want, feel good about it, rock it, eat what you want, try to
except for canola oil.
Yeah, I would skip that if you had the opportunity, the choice of prepare your own foods. The great thing that you have is a Thermomix, which has 15,000 recipes. And it measures it for you, ding, ding, that's enough.
It's a good investment, that little machine, to
be
honest.
Good.
Because it actually makes you not waste, because whatever like old vegetables you have, you can turn them into vegetable stock, and you can make your own, almond milk or almond butter. I mean, it's... At the end of the day, I think, like, if you're going to invest in something, invest in your health.
Yeah, just invest in your food. And, like, what the thing is, just do enough. That's just it. Just do enough and have fun, enjoy your life. A lot of the health thing, too, is people who are in control of their life. whether they eat, smoke, drink. The people who are in control of their lives, in other words, doing something that they love in a group where they feel like they feel important. If they're doing something they like, that's really healthy too. That may be the most important thing.
That's true.
All right. Rob Schneider's dates are as follows. I'll be on tour with the great, the one and only Adam Sandler. Go to adamsandler.com. Go to robschneider.com. Even better. This is my podcast. And then check out the dates. We'll be with Adam Sandler all of the month of June. And then you can come see me, and I'll be in New England, July 11th at the Flying Monkey Performance Center. Perfectly named for me. That's in Plymouth, New Hampshire. And then also, that's July 11th, Flying Monkey Performance Center. July 12th, I'll be at the Fox Theater in Ledyard, Connecticut. One show. And then July 13th, I love being in Boston at the Wilbur Theater. That's July 13th. So hope to see you there. Thank you for listening to the podcast. See what happens? And we hope you got a chance to see what happened. And I also like to thank Patricia Maya. Thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you, baby.
And my great buddy.
Thank you very much.
So that'll be it then for the first one. I thought it went pretty well. We talked about Spain. A recap, Jamie. How do you feel about the whole thing?
I, as you were speaking, saying you should be doing something you love, I was thinking, I love this.
All right.
That's what I was thinking.
Now, if we were going to find the great Jamie Lissow, where will we find him?
I will be at your house writing a lot.
Okay, good.
And then in Reno, you can find the exact dates, because I don't know them, at robschneidersfriend.com. And yes, that's really my website.
That is a good one. I like that. And Patricia?
Yes.
Where are we going to find you?
You can find me at I am Patricia Maya on Instagram. That's the one that I use the most. I don't do a lot of Facebook or Twitter. But if you want to find some healthy recipes for cooking or baking, you can Google those, because you're not going to find those on my Instagram. But you can find some other options.
And our TV show is Real Rob, seasons 1 and 2, streaming now on the service called Netflix. Real Rob, streaming now on Netflix, seasons 1 and 2.
Awesome.
All righty. Well, that was good. That was podcast numero uno. Thank you for listening to See What Happens. And we'll hope you join us again on the next See What Happens. I'm Rob Schneider.